So let's see what's over here, because this looks like a lot of productivity.
There is, this ring will be in sterling. This,
Oh, and that's my ring.
yeah. This one will be in platinum alloyed sterling.
Okay.
And this one's going to be in white bronze, which is not a metal that we normally like to use, but this particular client loves to experiment, and so white bronze it is.
That's going to be in yellow gold.
Yep.
Okay, so I noticed you've got all this, the ring formed in wax, and then what is that extra red bit of wax?
That is called a sprue, and that is what will get attached to the base, and then we will put a steel cylinder over the base, and the steel cylinder will be filled up with a plaster-like substance called investment. And once that's hardened, we'll break the rubber base off, and what's left is the plaster with this wax kind of sticking out. And then that goes into a kiln and gets burned out for 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. And then what's left is cavity that's exactly the same shape
Okay,
as
so that's
the wax.
a void will be where that wax is, so that forms a tunnel then.
Mm-hmm.
Tunnel for the gold to travel into the ring once it's in the centrifuge. And you've decided on that ring, which is my ring that you're going to cast in sterling, that instead of going from the thin part of the ring up to the heavier part,
Yep.
it was much more logical to sprue it from the heavy part, and then it'll flow into the thinner part
Right.
more easily with a better chance of success.
Right. That's just one of the basic principles of casting is go from thick to thin.
Debbie is our casting queen. She is really remarkable and has a great success rate. So here comes your feeder sprue. You absolutely don't want any bubbles or voids in this seam that you're creating with your sprue or anywhere in your wax model, because this wax model is subjected to 29 pounds of vacuum pressure, and any air bubbles will be sucked out and then fill with your investment, which will then cause plaster-filled voids in your casting. That's kind of a mess. So Deb mentioned weighing the waxes. Now, why do you weigh your waxes?
That tells me how much metal I need. Every metal I cast has a different density, and so I will weigh the wax, and that will tell me how much I need to multiply the wax weight by the density of the metal, and then I get my total.
So now Deb is about ready to put these waxes all on their sprue bases. And these are these rubber things. They form a funnel shape. They're filled with some wax on the top. The idea is to create smooth areas of flow for the metal, so you don't introduce turbulence more than is necessary. These waxes are on their bases and in their flasks, and now you're going to put the last wax on its base. Outstanding. This is quite a production line. How many flasks do you cast? What's your maximum?
5.
You can do 5.
Yeah. Yeah, in the kiln I can go kind of stack in with one in the middle here. There's not that much room.
Oh yeah, it's a small. Used distilled or fresh?
Distilled.
So this plaster is a special plaster that's formulated to tolerate high heat, because the kiln actually will get up to 1350 degrees.
So I'm going to weigh the plaster. Basically, I need about 40 ounces.
Feet.
True.
You've measured it, but the feel of it is still important.
Yeah, I'm right now I'm kind of mixing with my hands to break up any lumps, because there was a lot of plaster that ended up going in the water at one time. So, and there's a very fast mixing. I got to do all this within 10 minutes. So
Now what?
now we're gonna suck all the air out of it.
What is that little device?
This is a vacuum, and as it goes up to pressure, When you get up to about 28 pounds, the air will start bubbling up and out.
Ooh, look at those bubbles.
Yeah.
So that is literally sucking the air out. And the vacuum bell, is that called a bell?
Yep.
So you're releasing your vacuum. By my calculations, you've used 6 minutes, Deb.
Yeah, I know. We're we're having to speed up a little bit.
Okay.
So this little vibratory unit also helps vibrate any air that's trapped. Any trapped bubbles that attach themselves to the pieces.
Another thing that can happen is if your investment isn't the right consistency, it can separate from the wax, and then when it casts, you'll have something called flashing, which are little thin sort of veins.
Yeah, if it's too thin, this is actually a really good consistency. It's almost a little bit like yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yogurt's kind of thick, but not too solid. I'm gonna top them off.
The flasks are in the kiln now, so check out our next video on the casting process to see what happens.